The Dallas Stars just did what the NHL feared the most after analysts doubted them coming into this series against Colorado. Having multiple multi-goal losses, the Stars have unlocked their offense and even getting a very great boost from the defensive end. We have to dive into why the NHL playoffs are now terrified to see the Dallas Stars, how they unlocked forwards Mikko Rantanen and Wyatt Johnston, remembering who they were, and the unbelievable defense with even some more reinforcements coming soon. There is a bunch we got to dive into. The Stars are crazy. All that coming up on this episode of Hat Trick HQ. But first, quick reminder, 90% of you watching this video are not subscribed. What are you doing? We have videos every single day, all playoffs long, all offseason long on your favorite NHL teams. Hit the free button down below. Join us on this crazy playoff ride, Mark. And look, there's a lot of crazy series right now, especially out west where all the series were tied 2-2, but the Dallas Stars coming in, making some noise. Look, we know they had a couple multi-goal losses to the Avs. The only two wins in this series were by one goal in overtime, but they came in with a massive statement in a 6-2 win, and I got to start, the big story for me, we're going to talk about the offense getting unlocked, but it's the defense. I want to start with Lian Bichsel. He's been incredible to watch. He's really 6'7", 230, but according to Mikko Rantanen, he's 7 feet with skates and 300 pounds. I'm happy to be on his side with the way he hits guys. Mark Bichsel, 20 hits through 5 playoff games with Dallas. He's a young guy, too. I believe he still can't even legally have a drink in Dallas yet. He still knows how to pump up the fans. He's been unreal to watch. What have your thoughts been on him and honestly the rest of the Stars decor, not just last night, but throughout this whole series?
I mean, getting guys like this in the lineup are huge. And like Mikko Rantanen said, this kid is massive. He's not actually 7 foot, but it's still awesome to see such a big body come within this lineup and be able to pump people up. Yes, you have guys that are going to score goals, set up people on assists, but having a physical force on the back end, throwing 4+ hits a game for the Dallas Stars, getting the crowd into it, getting the team riled up. This is an impact that not a lot of players can bring, but we know this is something he can bring to this Dallas team, and it's really underrated from a lot of people looking in from the outside.
Yeah, especially in home games. Like when you're playing in Dallas and you have a guy like that who's laying these big hits, it gets the crowd roaring. It gets the crowd ready to go, and that gives your team a boost. And even the other players, you feel protected with him on the ice. Is he going to go out and score a ton of goals? No. But that kind of player doesn't. And he's been playing a great third pairing role. I mean, look, if we look at the pairings so far this playoffs, Lindell, who's been so phenomenal defensively, with Cody Ceci, Thomas Harley, Ilya Lyubushkin, and Bichsel with Petrovic. It's been like very interesting pairings. Again, with Heiskanen out, we'll probably talk about him later in this video. But Bichsel has been really, really, really cool to watch, fun to watch. Fun to watch is my biggest thing. I mean, this dude, he gets it, right? He knows how to get the fans going. Fan favorite. It's been amazing to watch him. But there is another guy I want to talk about, Mark, before we talk about the forwards. And look, we could talk about so many of these guys, but Thomas Harley is doing some insanely historic stuff. He is now tied for third all time for most goals in a season by a defenseman, regular season plus playoffs, in Stars franchise history. The only people above him are Philippe Boucher and Brad Maxwell. And you know what? He's looking like he's going to have a lot of time to break these records. Now, Lunan, you might think might be on this list, but Lunan did have a 21-goal season. NHL.com has that as a defenseman season. It's not. He played right wing that season back in 71-72. A little bit of history there we found preparing for this video. But Mark, Harley, I mean, we know since the Four Nations, he's been unbelievable. He was great before the Four Nations, but I think the league has a newfound respect for him, and he is showing everyone why. He is straight up, he's been one of the best defensemen in the world this playoffs.
And listen, not only with goal scoring, we see on every aspect of the ice, he has been incredible. Listen, he could go up onto this top pairing and not look at a place. We've seen him in the Four Nations. He dominated this. He's going to make the Olympic team. Harley is a name that's going to be on a lot of people's radars once he really starts to get going. He's having his real coming out moment with the NHL right now, and it's awesome to see him develop into the star player. I think it's not even far-fetched to say, Josh, that he's going to be one of the top two-way defensemen in the entire National Hockey League within the next 2 years when people really start to notice how good he is.
Yep, when you watch him play, the thing with Thomas Harley is one of those guys that you notice every time he's out there, and he's just making good plays. He's always around the puck, and that's what you love to see from a defenseman. I mean, look, we could praise all this stuff. The goal scoring's been insane, right? You could very well argue goal scoring's not his best asset. It's a good one. I don't know. Is it even his best? I don't know, right? He's just been so good regardless. So some love for the decor, Bichsel, Harley. It's been great. But Mark, the big story again, coming in, getting a big 6-2 win. That was so massive because, again, Colorado with that 4-0 shutout. Avs fans, oh my gosh, it's over. Look, we beat you 5-1, we beat you 4-0, and you can only beat us in overtime. Nah, it's not over till the fat lady sings. The Dallas Stars came out with a massive offensive performance, and the first guy we got to talk about, Wyatt Johnston. I mean, that goal, so fast, 2 goals, 3 points, 9 for 13 on faceoffs. 27 points in 43 career playoff games, and that point per game ratio is just going to keep going up. He put himself in NHL history books here, too, as he tied Jeremy Roenick for the 6th most playoff goals before age 22 in NHL history. Who were the names above him? Crosby, Kane, Yager, Jordan Stahl, and Brent Sutter. Still some interesting names there, but regardless, some incredible company with that crazy goal there, 5th fastest goal to start a playoff game. Mark, Wyatt Johnston, we know how good he is, but to see him, and again, Rantanen, who we'll get into in a minute, really unlocking themselves in this game, looking absolutely lethal against Colorado, who looked like they had no match for them, like, this could very well be a huge turning point for this Stars offense.
And I mean, that's the biggest thing with this team coming into the playoffs. A lot of people looked at this and underestimated how deep this Stars team really is. Johnson playing on the third line with Jamie Benn, dad up. This guy just signed an extension coming in. The big name around this team was Rantanen, but people are sleeping on Wyatt Johnston just looking at the stats. As we said, faceoffs, incredible, putting up multiple point games, being one of the quickest guys to score those 15 goals into the playoffs, the 5th fastest scoring to start a playoff game. We're starting to see him really come around as a star talent. And with this roster, yes, you do have a lot of old guys in there. Seguin's not going to be around forever. Benn's not going to be around forever. Granlund might be a rental. But the young players on this team are really making an impact already. And it just shows how bright the future of this Stars team really is and how underappreciated their future is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's been crazy to watch Wyatt Johnston. I mean, that contract, the day it was signed, right after that Rantanen deal went down, we're like, that's going to age extremely well. Again, with the cap going up, you assume it is. Like, this is going to be one of the better ones in the league. I mean, he was one of those prime RFA type targets for an offer sheet. Not anymore. And I mean, I think the Stars are very, very happy with what's going on there. But look, the trade that everyone was talking about, of course, was the Mikko Rantanen thing. And the problem with Mikko Rantanen is that his production just, well, it seemed to fall off, to say the least, while not being with Nathan MacKinnon. However, there's other factors, right? He went to a team in Carolina where he didn't really want to be. He's now on a team in Dallas where he does want to be, but regardless, integrating with new teammates is not always the easiest thing. Though playing now with line mate Roope Hintz, they shared some words after Rantanen scored that goal, and they didn't want to repeat it in the post-game press conference, but Rantanen finally remembering who he was and having the game-winning goal, being such an impact player in this game. 1 goal, 2 assists, 6 shots, most on Stars, 11 shot attempts, most on Stars. This is the Mikko Rantanen, the playoff Mikko Rantanen that everyone was expecting when he went to Carolina or went to Dallas. And right now, he's finally unlocking himself, Mark. And again, that top line of Granlund, Hintz, and Rantanen, the Finnish boys up there, it's been really, really interesting to watch this unfold. Do you think this is like the start of Mikko Rantanen finally clicking for the Dallas Stars? Because if it is, this is what I'm saying. The NHL feared this. They feared Rantanen getting going. Wyatt Johnston, the young player, getting that middle 6 going for the Dallas Stars. There's no weakness in this lineup if these guys are going at the rate that they are right now.
I think Rantanen got a lot more hate than he deserved this entire year. Yes, he did take a while to have his real coming out game for the Dallas Stars, but he always had those chances. Listen, being on 3 teams in 1 year is not easy. You're with Colorado, the team he thought he'd be with for his entire future, traded to Carolina, traded at deadline to Dallas. This is hard turnaround for a guy, but we're really seeing him get back to his form against his former team by dominating. We've seen him dominate crazily in this game. Like you said, shot attempts the most on the Stars, just the most shots by a player on the Stars. He is really starting to come around, and I think if Dallas Stars fans had a sour taste in their mouth because of Rantanen, and they really shouldn't have, I think you're really going to see why they traded for him, why they give up as much as they did with Stankoven and draft picks. I think you're going to see why this guy was so sought after by so many teams, and we've seen the Dallas Stars win the biggest sweepstake of the year by acquiring this guy and locking him up long-term, Josh.
It was just a matter of time. Like, to be honest, I think I was always worried a little bit, like, will he be the same without MacKinnon? I don't think anyone in the world is going to be quite the same without MacKinnon. But the question was, can Rantanen really drive his own line in the way that we knew he was capable of in Colorado, but with new teammates and stuff? And again, if this is the genesis of it, this could be crazy. Again, him and Hintz, they're going to be together for a while, and they both got long-term deals, and honestly, the chemistry's already showing right there, and I'm excited to see what's coming up next. So, you know what? Just let us know your thoughts on all this down below. The Stars, I think they're scaring the rest of the playoffs now. Now that they've unlocked this offense, they look like a different team versus Colorado. I'm ready to see what's coming next. Let us know your thoughts down below, because that'll do it for this episode of Hat Trick HQ. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching every single day. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Mark Pye. We'll catch you in the next one.